Welcome to another edition. This is Sejef presenting on one of the favorite topic one of the favorites of examiners. This is marginal costing. So today I'm going to explain what this concept is all about, but mainly today my focus is on optimum use of scarce resources. But I think as a way of introduction to those who are getting me or coming across my videos for the first time, marginal costing is an approach where we use variable cost in order to determine the value of our closing stock, or in order to make a decision. Usually we consider the cost that varies, the cost that vary with the level of output. Marginal cost, these are costs that changes with as the level of output increases. As the level of output increases, the cost also increases. For example, direct material are marginal cost, direct labor is marginal cost, direct expenses, we call them marginal costs. They vary as output increases. So we are saying marginal costs, these are costs that changes as the level of activity changes. So I think that's an introduction that I want to give to those who are coming across my video for the first time. I think you can see my contact, you can see my number, you can contact me, email. We can actually discuss on this, particularly those who are preparing for the ZIMSEC and Cambridge examination. I am available full-time for you to learn and understand what we are doing. Okay, my focus today is application of marginal costing, the uses of marginal costing, and today I'm going to focus mainly on the use of scarce resources. And when we're talking of scarce resources, these are resources that are limited in supply. Let's say, for example, we are according to the COVID regulations, we are forced to reduce the working hours. So the working hours become a scarce resource. So it means we need to utilize these scarce resources in an optimum way that will maximize output, that will maximize our profit. But let me just give you some uses of marginal costing. Number one, we've got pricing decision. When we want to do our pricing, usually we use, in a short run, we use a marginal costing. We can use it on make or buy decision, with a decision whether to make a product or to buy a product. And usually we buy a product when the marginal cost of production is higher than the cost of bought out, outsourcing the material. Then use of scarce resources, this is what we are going to do, concentrate today. In our next video, we'll be concentrating on the acceptance of order below normal selling price. Okay, let me proceed. This is the question that they might bring in the examination. Let me try to interpret it for you. On this one, I think you can actually see that, from this that we have got two products, we've got three products, product A, product B, product C, okay? And these are cost per unit, or they are values per unit. For us to produce A, we need 5 liters. For us to produce B, we need 10 liters. For C, we need 15 liters. For the labor hours, we need 10 hours to produce A, 12 hours to produce B, 6 hours to produce C. I'm trying to interpret the question for other students, right? And these are in dollars. I think you should take note. These are in dollars, all right? You should take note on this one. So these are dollars. So this is the selling price. These are the selling price, okay? And the selling price are in what? In dollars. Okay, let me just put a dollar sign for you to help you follow the video. Okay, so these are in what? In dollars. Okay, let's continue with the question reading, trying to familiarize with the question, and we proceed. We're saying the selling price for A is $120, then the selling price for B is $150, and this one is $200. These are unit price, okay? Then also these figures are in dollars. We have put it is costing us the other marginal cost is $3 for us to produce A, $4 to produce C, and $4 to produce B, and $8 to produce what? To produce C. All right. Then they are saying 1 liter of mass costs $2. 1 liter costs $2. And remember, we need 5 liters to produce A. All right. Then it has been ascertained that the total liters of mass will be reduced by 10%. So when you see this now, When you see this now, you should know that the scarce resource, or the scarce resource in this case, are the total liters required for our production. The total liters that are required for our production becomes the scarce resource. I think it's making sense. Then output per quarter, in this case, we've got the output per quarter. Our output per quarter is we need to produce 10,000 units of A, 12,000 units of B, then 15,000 units of C. All right. Then our fixed overheads are 1,081,300 per quarter. Okay. And you are required to prepare a production budget that will maximize the profit for the company, possibly, and the revised net profit figure. Okay. I think I've helped you to familiarize with the question. And we want to see, how do we tackle such a question? How do we tackle such a question? I think it's very easy. You can actually see from the presentation that I have made, you can actually see what you need to do now. You prepare what you call a contribution statement, right? What do you prepare? You prepare what you call contribution statement. Let me try to erase some of these material that are appearing on my screen so that you can actually follow. Okay, you prepare a contribution statement per unit. Okay, when you want to utilize the scarce resource, want to determine how to use the scarce resource, please remember you prepare what we call a contribution statement per unit. Contribution per unit statement, right? What you do when you are calculating your contribution is very simple. I think you understand how we do it. When we are calculating contribution, we agreed that your contribution is very simple. You just say selling price contribution is equal to selling price. Let me just write for the interest of others. Okay, it's good to just write for them. Okay, let me just write here. Contribution, we said selling price SP minus our variable cost. Variable cost is equal to our contribution. So when we are producing the contribution statement, this is the format that we are following. We are just saying our selling price minus our variable cost. Okay, so our selling price is 120. I think you can actually see from our previous slide. Okay, let me just try to switch between these two slides. Our contribution, our selling price 120, 150, 200. Okay, I think it's very clear to everyone. 120, 150, 200. Then we say less what? Variable cost per unit. All right. How did we get the $20 for direct material in terms of material in this case? Right? It's we need 5 liters to produce A, but each liter is going for how much? $2. So we are saying 5 times 2, 10 times 2, then 15 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. So you can actually see from my answer, this is how we got the $10. Then let's try to see how did I get the for B. We are saying we need 10 liters. We need 10 liters, but each liter is going for how many? It's going for $2. So the answer must be 20. You can actually see how I got the 20. We need 15 liters and each liter is going for $2. This will give us 30. Remember, it's contribution per unit statement. Then the direct labor, I want you to see how I got this direct labor of $50. I think let me just slide a little bit back. We need 50 hours to produce 1 unit of A. 50 times 5, it's 10. We need 10 hours to produce 1 unit of A, so it's 10 times 5. 10 times 5, what do you get? It's 15, right? Then how many hours do we need? We need 12 hours to produce 1 unit of B times 5. 12 times 5, you get 60. That's how I got this 60 for you, okay? Then we need also how many? We need also how many hours? We need 2. We need 6 hours. 6 hours to produce 1 unit of C. Multiplied by 5, what do you get? You get 30. So this is, then you take other variable costs like this one. Our variable cost, let me just verify these figures. We are going to say 10. Variable cost, it's 3, 4, 8. Then we are going to say 10. Okay. We are going to say 10. right? 10 plus 50 plus 3. Okay, you get 10. Okay, 10 plus 50 plus 3. Okay, you get 63 minus 120, you get 57. Okay, so it's very simple. Let me just try to get my pen to help others understand. We are going to add, remember our contribution, we are saying we are going to add these figures together, and when you add these figures, 10 plus 50 plus 3, then we get the answer here is 63. So we are going to say 63, 120 minus 63, we get our 57 as our contribution. I think you can actually do the maths for the other sections. You just calculate the total variable cost is 20, right? Plus 60 plus 4, you get 84. You subtract from 150 minus 150, you get your 66. I think it's making sense. Then from this one, it's very simple. Again, you say 30 plus 30 is 60, 68 minus 200. Okay, 68 minus 200, you get 132. This is your contribution. I think you can pause the video and try to determine the contribution per unit. Okay, so this is the first stage. Please remember, this is our first stage. I want you to remember this. This is our first stage. You need to determine the contribution. When you are done with the contribution, then we are good to go. So our contribution in this case is this one. This is our contribution. This is our contribution. Okay, our contribution. This is our contribution. Contribution is equal to selling price minus the variable cost. Okay, let me clear my screen so that you can follow, allow you to follow this one. Okay, remember we are trying to use the scarce resources. All right, so our contribution, I think, is very simple. Selling price minus all the variable cost, then we get our contribution. Selling price minus all the variable cost, we get our contribution. Selling price minus all the variable cost, we get our contribution per unit. Remember, right? Then we need now to calculate step number 2. We need to calculate the contribution per limiting factor. So we need to determine how many liters do you require to produce A, to produce B, to produce C. Okay, so let me just go back to the question. How many liters do we need to produce each unit? Okay, how many liters? Let me just slide a little bit for you to see the question. Okay, I want you to see the question. Okay, how many liters do we need to produce? We need 5 liters. 5 liters to produce A, 10 liters, 15 liters. So we are saying 5, 10, 15. You write the 5, 10, 15 liters below this, because what we want to do this, in this case, we want to determine the contribution per limiting factor. So what you are going to do, you write the limiting factor here are the liters. So you are going to write 5 liters, 10 liters, 15 liters. Then you divide, okay? You are going to say 57 divided by 5, okay? I got $4.4 per liter. So it means each liter that we buy for A is contributing how much? $11.40. Then you determine again for the other one, 66 divided by 10. It's very simple, $6.6 per liter. Each unit of B that we buy is contributing $6. Then you do the same, 132 divided by 15. Okay, I got 8.8 liters. Each unit that we are buying of C is, each liter that we buy for C is contributing $8.80. Then we get to stage number 3, where we are supposed to rank in terms of which product is contributing more per liter, right? Which product is contributing more per liter? It means A is contributing more per liter. So we are going to rank it as number 1. That's our first priority. We need to maximize the production of what? Of A. Okay, we rank it number 1. In terms of our contribution per liter, C is contributing 8.8, unlike B, who is contributing 6.6. So this one is, we are going to rank it number 2, right? Then the last production that we are going to make in this case is on B. So ranking the product is another aspect that you need to know. We rank them according to how much they are contributing per liter, because the problem is that it has been ascertained by management that the number of liters will be limited in supply. Okay, let me show you the statement. Maybe you didn't see the statement. Let me show you the statement that the liters were going to be in short supply. The liters were going to be in short supply. That's how you determine the scarce resource. Let me read it again. 1 liter of mass costs $2. It has been ascertained that the total liters of mass will be reduced by 10%. Okay, from our suppliers, they're saying we cannot provide the full budget, but we are going to provide 90% of what you've been producing. So the problem is now with the number of liters that we need to produce our goods. So you then know that the scarce resource in this case is the liters that we require for the production. So that's what you need to use. If it was labor hours, we're going to put hours below this. Okay, let me proceed. Then we need now to prepare a revised budget. Okay, how do we prepare a revised budget? We need now to rank the products. We have ranked them. This we have done here. Our number one, we are supposed to produce all the units for what? All the units for A. How many units are required? The budget for A, I think you can actually see from this one, we need 10,000 units of A. So it means we must produce all the units of A. Why? Because A is contributing more than other units. Okay, so we are going to produce all the 10,000 units of A. But A requires how many liters? A requires how many liters? In this case, you can actually see that A requires 5 liters. Okay, I think you can follow from our previous question. A requires how many liters? 5 liters. So we are going to save 10,000 times 5 liters. We get 50,000. I'm going to show you how we got the available liters. Okay, then we are supposed to produce some units of C. Let's go and see. Why are we saying C? C is ranked number 3. C is ranked number what? Number 2, sorry. C is ranked number 2. So when C is ranked number 2, we are supposed to produce all the units of C. How many units are required for C? 15,000 liters, 15,000 units. But how many liters of C do we need for each unit? We need 15 liters. So we are going to produce 15 times 15,000. Okay, 15 times 50,000. You can actually see that I multiplied 15 liters. All units of C should be produced 15 liters times 15,000 units. We get total liters of 225,000. Okay, but there is a problem now on production of B. We cannot produce all the liters that are required for B. Let's see, from our normal budget, we are supposed to produce how many liters for B? 12,000 liters. We cannot produce the 12,000 liters. Why? There is a technical problem, which I want to demonstrate to you. Okay, let's start with the original budget to calculate all the units that are required. Okay, to calculate all the units that are required. We are requiring how many units? We are supposed to multiply 10,000. Let me do it from this point of view. Okay, we are supposed to produce 10,000 units times 5, then 12,000 times 10, then 15,000 times what? Times 15 liters. So it's a matter of multiplying now. Okay, let me do the maths here, then I will also do it on the other section so that you can see. We want to see the liters that are required for us. Okay, let me show you the normal budget. The normal budget should look like this. We are, how many liters of A do we require? We need 5 liters. 5 liters. So we are saying 5 times, but A requires how many units? 10,000 multiplied by 10,000. Okay, plus, okay, plus, how many liters do you require for B? Each unit of B requires 10 liters. 10 liters, but how many units do we want to produce? We want to produce for B. For B, we want 12,000. We multiply by 12,000. I want to see you to see how I got that one. Okay, this is the critical part. Plus, we want to calculate how many liters do you require in total. Then for C, we need 15 liters. We multiply 15 okay, multiplied by how many units do you require in total? 15,000. Okay, 15,000. Okay, let's multiply this one. You see that the total will be like the one that I got there, right? It's 5 times 10, 1, 2, 3,000 plus 10 times 12,000 plus 15 times 15,000. Okay, this is 395. I got 395,000. Okay, this is our normal budget, but we are told now that the normal budget will be reduced, okay, by, so we are supposed to reduce this one. The normal budget is to be reduced, okay, reduced by 10%, by 10%. So they will supply how much? They will supply 90%. They will supply 90% of what? Of $395,000. Okay, so that's our budget now. So we multiply by 0.9, it will give us 355 3 355 500. These are the liters that they will supply us. Okay, these are the liters that they will supply us. Okay, so you can actually see that you need to be in a position to know this. If you miss this, then it means your answer won't be correct. You need to be very careful on this. So it means it's a matter of just saying 395. These are the total liters that we require, but they are going to reduce it by 10%. It means they will supply 90%. Then we get 355 500,000 liters that they will supply. So that's how I got this figure. Okay, I think that's how I got this figure. Let me show you now. Let me show you my figures now. All right. So this is how I got the available units. Okay, the available units. The available units is 355,500. We deduct the units that are required by A, which is 50,000. Then we get 305,500. Then we deduct the units that are required by C. Why are we saying C for the second time? C is number 2. It's rank number 2. We need to produce all the units for C. Then we get 225,000. Then we deduct, we remain with 80,000. We remain with 80,500, right? 80,500. You see now the problem, okay? I need to get my pen here. I think you must see the problem now. The only liters that are remaining here, the only liters that we have in this case, okay? The only liters, I think you must see the problem. The problem here is we need to produce 120 units for, we need to produce 120 units for what? Let me remove this one. We need to produce 120 units for A. A, remember, it's ranked, not A. This must be B. Okay. This must be our B, right? Our B requires 120,000 liters, but available liters that I have been that are left, or that have been left after providing for A and C is 80,000 units. This means it's not sufficient now. We are left with less than the required original budget for B. Okay, so we are going to say how many liters. Instead of producing 120,000 liters, we can only produce 80,000 liters. So how do you get the number of units that are required? It's a matter of saying 80,500 divided by 10. We can only produce 8,050 or 850 units of B instead of the required number of units for what? Instead of the required number of units for B. Remember, this is B. Let me just remove this one for you. This must be a B. Okay, let me try to write B in this case. Okay, it's not an A, it must be B. Okay, let me try to push it here. Okay, Okay, so that's how you do the math. Please be careful, be in a position to do the math in this case. So we are going to say 80,500 divided by 10, we get the 8050. This is our revised budget. Our revised budget, A, 10,000 units, C, 15,000 units, then our B is 8,050 units. Okay, maybe to just recap for others who have missed this one, we are saying 10,000 times 5,000 times 12,000 plus 12,000 times 10, 15,000 times 15, we get 395. We reduce this one by 10%, then we get our available liters, which is 355,500. Then we start to deduct the liters that are required by A, liters that are required by C. Then the remainder is 80,500 liters, which are not sufficient to cover the normal production of 120,000 liters that are required by B. Then we are supposed then to reduce. Then we come up with the revised budget and we prepare the revised net profit for the year. Okay, let me show you the net profit for the year. All right, let me erase this again for you. Okay, right. Then we are saying we are required to prepare a revised profit for the quarter. Right, revised profit is very simple. You take your contribution per unit, you multiply by the output, contribution per unit, multiply by output, contribution per unit, multiply by output. But where did we get this contribution per unit? Let me also show you so that you can actually follow. Our contribution per unit, okay, this was your task, but let me just do it for you. Our contribution per unit in this case was 1566 132, 1566 132, 1566 132, 15. Okay, our contribution in this case was 57 66 132, 57. Okay, 57 66 132. Contribution per unit times the output, the revised output 10,000, the revised output 8,050, revised output 15,000. You get your totals, total contribution, and remember, total contribution minus fixed cost, you get your net profit. This is how you are supposed to do the maths. Okay, we meet in our next presentation and wish you